Imagine for a moment that everything you've ever believed about what is possible in life is just the surface of an unfathomable ocean. What if I told you there's a vibration, a frequency so high, so powerful, that tapping into it for even a fraction of a second could bend your reality in ways most people wouldn't dare to dream of? I'm not talking about wishful thinking or vague spiritual concepts. It's something tangible, something real, but accessible only to the rarest of individuals. You see, most of us are enslaved by the rules of this physical world. We've been taught that reality is rigid, that change takes time, that transformation requires effort. But what if all of that was an illusion? What if reality wasn't as solid as it seems? What if the key to unlocking everything you've ever wanted, to bending the very fabric of existence, was hidden in your vibration? Now, let's get real here. Most people live their entire lives stuck on autopilot, trapped in low-frequency states dominated by fear, doubt, and limitation. That's the default vibration of the majority. And it's why only 1% of people ever experience true mastery over their lives, their reality, and their destiny. The rest? They stay stuck, playing small, convinced they're powerless. But I know something about you wouldn't be here, listening, if you weren't already part of that rare group who knows, deep down, that more is possible.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
So, let me ask you, what if everything you think you are is just a fraction of your potential? And what if the version of you that could bend reality already exists, just waiting for you to align with it? This is not just another motivational idea. This is physics, energy, and consciousness in action. Everything in this universe vibrates. Your thoughts vibrate. Your emotions vibrate. Even the cells in your body vibrate. And here's the kicker. The higher your vibration, the more powerful your ability to influence the quantum field, the invisible grid that connects all things, the very fabric of reality itself. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to manifest effortlessly? Why things just work out for them while others struggle endlessly? It's not luck. It's alignment. They've tapped into a frequency that most people don't even know exists, a frequency that bends the rules of time, space, and probability. But here's the thing. Accessing this high vibration isn't as simple as just thinking positive thoughts or saying affirmations. It requires a shift so profound that it changes the very essence of who you are. It's not about doing something, it's about being something. It's about embodying a state of consciousness where the impossible becomes inevitable. Let's ground this in practicality for a moment. Think about a time in your life when you were in complete flow, when everything seemed to fall into place effortlessly. Maybe it was a moment of deep love or creativity or joy. In those moments, you weren't trying to control reality. You were reality. You were so aligned with the present moment, so attuned to the infinite possibilities around you, that life seemed to respond to your very being. That's a taste of high vibration. But let me ask you this, why don't you live in that state all the time? What's stopping you from being in that flow right now? The truth is, most of us are weighed down by the baggage of our past, the beliefs, the fears, the doubts, the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what's possible. These low-frequency patterns act like anchors, keeping us stuck in a limited version of reality. And until we release them, we can never rise to the level where true magic happens. So how do we break free? How do we raise our vibration to the point where we can bend reality itself? This is where the real work begins. It starts with awareness, with understanding that you are not your thoughts, your emotions, or your circumstances. You are the consciousness behind them. And as consciousness, you have the power to choose. You can choose to let go of the patterns that no longer serve you. You can choose to align with higher frequencies of love, gratitude, and possibility. You can choose to become the creator of your reality rather than the victim of it. But to do this, you must be willing to confront the parts of yourself that are still vibrating at a lower frequency. You must be willing to face your shadows, your fears, and your doubts, and to transcend them. But here's the beautiful part. Once you make this shift, everything changes. Opportunities you never imagined appear out of nowhere. Relationships transform. Doors that seemed closed forever swing wide open. And it's not because the world has changed, it's because you have. So I'll leave you with this question for now. What would your life look like if you were vibrating at the highest possible frequency? If you truly understood the power within you, you wouldn't just bend reality, you'd collapse the illusion of time and space entirely. You'd no longer view life as a series of disconnected events, unfolding linearly. Instead, you'd see it for what it truly is, a vast, interconnected tapestry of infinite possibilities, all existing simultaneously, waiting for you to tune into the right frequency to bring them into your experience. Now, most people will hear this and say, "That sounds impossible." And that's exactly why only 1% of people ever reach this level of mastery. The rest spend their lives chasing external solutions, trying to manipulate the physical world, while the rare few learn to shift their inner state and watch as the universe rearranges itself to match their vibration. But how does this actually work? How do you collapse time and space? Let's start with a fundamental truth. Reality is not fixed. The version of reality you're experiencing right now is simply a reflection of your dominant vibration. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, every emotion you feel, these are signals you're sending out into the quantum field. And the field responds by creating a reality that matches the vibration of those signals. Here's the game changer. There's no lag time in the quantum field. Everything exists in the present moment. The version of you who's already living your dream life. That version exists right now. The abundance, the love, the health, the freedom, it's all here, vibrating at a specific frequency. The only reason you don't experience it is because you're not tuned into it. Think of it like a radio. You can be surrounded by hundreds of different radio stations, each broadcasting a different frequency, but you'll only hear the one you're tuned into. Your vibration is your tuning dial. Most people are stuck on the same station, replaying the same old stories, and then they wonder why their life never changes. But when you learn to shift your vibration, you change the station, and you collapse the time and space between you and the reality you desire. So, let me ask you, what station are you tuned into right now? What stories, beliefs, and emotions are you broadcasting into the field? And are they aligned with the reality you want to create? This is where most people get it wrong. They think they can simply think about what they want, and it will magically appear. But the universe doesn't respond to your thoughts alone, it responds to your state of being. You can't just think abundance while feeling lack. You can't just visualize love while vibrating fear. The field doesn't listen to your words, it listens to your energy. So how do you shift your state of being? How do you align your energy with the reality you want to create? The answer lies in collapsing the illusion of time. Most people think of their desires as something that exists in the future, something they have to work toward, something they'll experience someday. But that belief keeps their desire locked in the future, forever out of reach. Here's the truth: the future doesn't exist. The only moment that's real is now. And if you want to experience a new reality, you must embody the vibration of that reality now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. This can feel counterintuitive at first. After all, how can you feel abundant when your bank account is empty? How can you feel love when you're heartbroken? How can you feel healthy when your body is in pain? But this is where the 1% separate themselves from the rest. They understand that their external reality is just a mirror of their internal state, and that to change the reflection, they must first change what's within. Let me give you a practical exercise to illustrate this. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the version of you who's already living your dream life. See it in as much detail as possible. What does this version of you look like? How do they carry themselves? What kind of energy do they radiate? What do they believe about themselves and the world? Now, here's the key. Don't just visualize this version of you become this version of you. Feel what it feels like to be them. Embody their confidence, their joy, their peace. Walk like them. Talk like them. Think like them. Act like them. Because the more you embody this state, the more your vibration shifts and the more you align with the reality where this version of you already exists. This isn't just a mental exercise, it's a vibrational shift. And when you do it consistently, something extraordinary happens. Reality begins to rearrange itself to match your new vibration. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. Synchronicities become a daily occurrence. The right people, resources, and circumstances flow into your life effortlessly. And it's not because you're lucky, it's because you've tuned into the frequency where these things already exist. But let me warn you, this process will challenge you. It will force you to let go of the old version of yourself, the version that's comfortable in its limitations, the version that clings to fear and doubt and excuses. And that can feel like a death. But on the other side of that death is freedom. So I'll leave you with this question for now. Are you willing to let go of everything you think you are to become everything you're meant to be? What if I told you that every limitation you've ever believed about yourself, every doubt, every fear, every I can't, was nothing more than an illusion, a mirage created by your mind, shaped by your past, and reinforced by the collective beliefs of the world around you? You see, the greatest trick your mind ever played on you was convincing you that you're small, that you're separate from the infinite, that you're bound by the rules of this physical world. But the truth is, you're not. Let's get something straight. Limitations are not real. They feel real, they look real, but they're constructs, thought forms given power by your belief in them. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop believing in your limitations, they disappear. They crumble like smoke in the wind. The walls you thought were keeping you caged were never solid to begin with. But here's the challenge. Breaking the illusion of limitations isn't just about convincing yourself intellectually that you're limitless. It's about dismantling the entire energetic framework that holds those limitations in place. It's about going deeper than you've ever gone before into the patterns, programs, and traumas that keep you tied to a smaller version of yourself. And this process requires radical honesty, courage, and a willingness to face parts of yourself you've been avoiding for years, maybe even lifetimes. So let me ask you, what stories are you still telling yourself about who you are? What beliefs are you clinging to that keep you from stepping into your highest self? Most people don't even realize they're trapped in a web of self-imposed limitations because they've been living in it for so long that it feels normal. They've normalized the struggle. They've normalized the fear. They've normalized the idea that life is hard, that success is rare, that happiness is conditional, that miracles are for other people. But here's the thing, normal is just another word for programmed. And if you want to shift into the 1% who bend reality, you have to break free from the programming. Let's unravel this together. Think about one area of your life where you feel stuck. One area. It feels like no matter how hard you try, nothing changes. Maybe it's your finances, or your relationships, or your health. Whatever it is, I want you to ask yourself a question that cuts straight to the core. What belief is holding this pattern in place? For example, if you're struggling with money, perhaps the belief is, I'm not worthy of abundance, or money is hard to come by. If you're stuck in unhealthy relationships, maybe the belief is, I'm not lovable, or I always attract the wrong people. If your health is suffering, perhaps the belief is, my body is broken or healing is impossible. Here's where it gets interesting. These beliefs didn't come out of nowhere. They were planted in you, often at a very young age, by your environment, your experiences, and the people around you. And because you didn't know any better at the time, you accepted these beliefs as truth. But they're not truth. They're just stories. And like any story, they can be rewritten. So let's rewrite them, right here, right now. Close your eyes for a moment and bring that belief to mind, the belief that's been holding you back. Feel it in your body. Notice where it lives. Maybe it's a heaviness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, a tension in your shoulders. Wherever it is, just sit with it. Don't resist it. Don't judge it. Just observe it. Now ask yourself, is this belief truly mine? Or was it given to me by someone else? Maybe it was something your parents told you, or a message you absorbed from society, or a conclusion you drew after a painful experience. Whatever it is, recognize that this belief is not your essence. It's not who you are. It's a program running in your mind, a program you have the power to uninstall. So here's what I want you to do. Imagine that belief as a thread woven into the fabric of your being. And now, one by one, start pulling on that thread. Watch as it unravels. Watch as the illusion of limitation begins to dissolve. And as it does, replace it with a new belief, a belief that aligns with your highest vibration. For example, instead of "I'm not worthy of abundance," replace it with "I am a magnet for infinite abundance." Instead of "I'm not lovable," replace it with "I am love itself, and I attract love effortlessly." Instead of "my body is broken," replace it with "my body is a masterpiece of healing and vitality." But here's the key. Don't just say these affirmations, feel them. Embody them. Let the energy of these new beliefs vibrate through every cell of your being. Because it's not enough to think differently, you must be differently. And this is where the magic happens. As you shift your internal energy, the external world has no choice but to shift in response. The people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with your new vibration will begin to appear, almost as if by magic. But it's not magic, it's the law of resonance. It's the quantum field responding to the new signal you're broadcasting. Now, let's take this even deeper. One of the biggest limitations people cling to is the belief in separation, the idea that they're separate from the universe, separate from their desires, separate from other people. But the truth is, separation is the ultimate illusion. At the deepest level, you and the universe are one. You're not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. And when you truly grasp this, when you feel it in your bones, your entire relationship with reality changes. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start recognizing yourself as the creator of it. You stop waiting for miracles and start realizing that you are the miracle. So here's my question for you. Are you ready to let go of the illusion of separation? Are you ready to remember who you truly are? Because when you do, there's no limit to what you can create. The walls of limitation will crumble. The rules of time and space will bend. And you'll step into a level of freedom, power, and possibility that most people can't even comprehend. But this isn't just about you. When you break free from the illusion of limitations, you don't just transform your own life, you become a beacon of light for others. You show them what's possible. You become a living example of what it looks like to vibrate at the highest frequency, to bend reality, to embody your infinite potential. So I'll leave you with this final question. Who would you be if you had no limitations? What does it truly mean to become the creator of your reality? To not just react to life, but to be the architect of it. To step into a state of being where you no longer hope, wish, or wait, but instead command existence itself to align with your highest vision. This is the ultimate state of mastery, the state where you fully embrace that you are not separate from the universe, but one with it. You are not a passenger on this ride of life, powerless to its twists and turns. You are the driver, the designer, the energy behind it all. And when you live in this ultimate state, bending reality becomes not just possible, it becomes natural. But let's pause for a moment, because this is where most people get stuck. The idea of being the creator of reality sounds empowering, but it also feels intimidating, doesn't it? The ego resists the idea because it knows that stepping into this power comes with responsibility. It means there's no one left to blame, no excuses left to hold on to. It means letting go of the illusion of victimhood and fully owning your role as the creator of every aspect of your life. So let me ask you, are you ready for that level of ownership? Are you ready to stop blaming the world, your past, or your circumstances, and recognize that everything in your reality is a reflection of your inner state? This might feel confronting, but it's also liberating, because the moment you take full responsibility for your life, you gain full control over it. You stop being a pawn in the game and become the one moving the pieces. You reclaim your power. But how do we get there? How do we step into this ultimate state of creation? It starts with a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and the world. Most people see themselves as separate from the universe, as a small piece in a vast puzzle. But the truth is, you are the puzzle. You are the universe experiencing itself. To grasp this, let me take you deeper into the nature of reality. At the quantum level, everything is energy. There is no solid matter. The chair you're sitting on, the screen you're reading this on, your body, your thoughts, it's all energy vibrating at different frequencies. And this energy is not static, it's responsive. It's influenced by your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and most importantly, your state of being. This is why high vibration is so powerful. When you raise your vibration, you're not just changing how you feel, you're changing the frequency you're broadcasting to the universe. And because the universe operates on the law of resonance, it has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your frequency. But here's where it gets even more profound. This process doesn't happen outside of you. The universe isn't some external force responding to your vibration. You are the universe. You are the consciousness projecting this entire reality into existence. Everything you see, touch, and experience is happening within the field of your awareness. So let me ask you again, if you are the consciousness creating this reality, what reality do you want to create? To create consciously, you must first understand that there are two ways to live, as a reactor or as a creator. Reactors are at the mercy of their external circumstances. They let the world dictate their thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. If something good happens, they feel happy. If something bad happens, they feel sad or frustrated. Their vibration is constantly being influenced by what's happening around them, which means they have no control over their reality. Creators, on the other hand, operate from the inside out. They don't wait for external circumstances to change before they shift their vibration. They shift their vibration first, knowing that the external will follow. They don't need evidence of abundance to feel abundant. They don't need proof of love to feel loved. They embody the state they desire, and by doing so, they call it into existence. This is the ultimate state of being, living as the cause, not the effect. But let's make this practical, because knowing this on an intellectual level isn't enough. You have to live it. You have to embody it. So how do you do that? The first step is to become radically aware of your state of being. Ask yourself throughout the day, what am I feeling right now? What thoughts am I focusing on? What energy am I broadcasting to the universe? If your state of being is aligned with fear, doubt, or lack, stop and recalibrate. Use your breath, your focus, and your intention to shift into a higher state. Close your eyes and connect with the version of yourself who's already living the life you desire. Feel the energy of that version of you. Bring it into the present moment. The second step is to detach from the how. This is where most people struggle. They try to control every detail of how their desires will manifest. But when you're in the ultimate state of creation, You don't micromanage the universe. You don't force things to happen. Instead, you trust. You trust that the energy you're broadcasting is enough. You trust that the universe is working behind the scenes to align the people, opportunities, and circumstances necessary to bring your desire into form. This doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you take inspired action. You listen to the nudges from your intuition, and you act on them without hesitation. But you do so with a sense of ease, flow, and trust, not with desperation or attachment. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools for embodying the ultimate state of creation: gratitude. Gratitude is the highest vibration you can emit. When you're in a state of gratitude, you're not just acknowledging what you already have, you're aligning with the energy of abundance, love, and possibility. But here's the secret. Don't just be grateful for what's already in your life. Be grateful for what you're creating. Be grateful for your desires as if they've already manifested. Feel the joy, the excitement, the fulfillment of having them now. This is how you collapse time and space. This is how you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Let's take this one step further. To truly live in the ultimate state of creation, you must embody the energy of certainty. Certainty that your desires are already yours. Certainty that the universe is working in your favor. Certainty that you are the creator of your reality. I think about it. When you plant a seed in the ground, do you doubt whether it will grow? No. You trust that as long as you nurture it, it will sprout in perfect timing. The same is true for your desires. Once you've planted the seed, once you've aligned your energy and set your intention, your only job is to nurture it with trust, gratitude, and inspired action. But let me leave you with this. The ultimate state of creation is not about manifesting things. It's not about accumulating wealth, relationships, or achievements. Those things are beautiful, but they're not the end goal. The ultimate state of creation is about becoming. It's about stepping into the fullest expression of who you are. It's about remembering your infinite nature and living from that place. So let me ask you one final question. If you could create anything, if there were no limits, no rules, no fear, what would you create? And who would you become in the process? This is your invitation to step into the 1%, to raise your vibration to the point where reality bends in your favor, to live as the creator you were always meant to be. The door is open. All you have to do is walk through it. You are far more powerful than you've been led to believe. The limits you see in your life are not real, they are illusions, reflections of old vibrations that no longer serve you. The journey to bending reality begins not with effort, but with alignment. It's about raising your vibration to such a high frequency that the universe itself shifts to reflect your inner state. This is not about controlling life, it's about stepping into harmony with it. When you realize that the reality you desire already exists, waiting for you to tune into it, you stop chasing and start embodying. You become the creator, living from the inside out, no longer bound by external conditions. This is the ultimate freedom, to know that you are one with the universe, that everything you need is already within you. So ask yourself, what would life feel like if you lived every moment in alignment with your highest vibration? That state is available to you now. The only question is, will you step into it? The 1% who bend reality don't wait for permission. They decide. They shift. They embody. And in doing so, they create miracles. You are that 1%, the choice is yours.